Okay, so we're going to talk about backlinks, what they are, why you need them, and how to get them. We're going to ramp up because my understanding is that some of you might not even have a vague understanding of what backlinks are, and then we're going to really kind of just take that ski jump and get into the whole thing. So this is me. That's me being able to fit into a suit, which I can't do anymore, but that's my background. I don't really like to talk about myself. Okay, so in the beginning, search engines like Excite, InfoSeek, and Alta Vista, and even early versions of Yahoo were extremely easy to manipulate with what we now call black hat. So we talked a little bit about white hat, there's also black hat. So those are kind of negative stuff that you don't really want to do today, but that we all did back in the day. They include stuffing keywords into side margins, making them the same color as the background so as to hide them. Now we have base 64s, which is code that'll go into your WordPress. If somebody's working on your WordPress site and they're doing a development, and they've built a little widget that includes a base 64. Most of the time that base 64 is going to be fine. It's just condensed code that really can't be read. But you should just take that code, that base 64, and make sure that it doesn't actually contain any kind of a variety of stuff. Viruses that unwield themselves, or just links to inappropriate sites. These original search engines were so easy to manipulate that all you had to do was look at the number of times a keyword was used in a page and then just write yours with one additional one. So this is going 20 years back, so I'm dating myself. Then write your own page. Okay, so then everything changed. We all know who these guys are, right? Sergey Brin and Larry Page. In 1996, they were at Stanford, and they were working on a project that included search engine functionality. And what they figured was that right now, everything's kind of how many keywords are on a page. What we need to do is how many links, how much popularity does this site actually have? And so they came up with a link probability and equation that kind of said this was, well, we'll get into all that. The page, today PageRank is just one of the many factors that determine the hierarchy of how you rank in Google. Site speed is something that also is critical, and there was a whole variety of other stuff. So, shiny happy websites. This is what it kind of looks like in a visual sense for link popularity. What we have down here are the small little, soccer mom blogs where they're at home taking care of the kid and they're writing one or two blogs, or they're, when the kid's asleep or something like that. Nobody's really reading it except for their friends, and they're all then pointing to, let's say, mommybloggers.com. All of that, because of the multitude of those websites that are linking back to mommybloggers.com, Mommy Bloggers now has more popularity. Now, Mommy Bloggers then links back to this guy in the red, but that's the only link that they have. So they're a little bit bigger and they're a better color, but that's just because of the power of Mommy Blogger. And then what you can see is everybody is pointing to yellow. And yellow might be like CNN. So this is how Google is kind of figuring out who's popular. And this is all backlinks. So how do we get backlinks? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And for the sake of time, I'm actually going to ignore the bad, because the bad would be black hat stuff. Infographics. They display complex data in an easy consumable visual. You can make an infographic available with a backlink so that bloggers can take it from your site I am not a big fan of infographics. I know a lot of work is being done around infographics. Here's the caveat on why I don't like it. Because if something really, really gets popular, Bobby down the street is going to go home, see that infographic, and he's just going to copy and save that image. He's not going to take the link. So it's great for within our industry that people understand that this is an infographic and this is how you're going to share the infographic, but it kind of gets messed when it gets to a larger audience. Viral content. The Justin Bieber, how many Justin Biebers can you fight? This was something from very long ago. This is when Justin Bieber just started getting popular. The Oatmeal is a really fun site. They have great cartoons and really funny stuff. And he creates these great viral content. It's a question and answer. It's a multiple choice of about 10 or 12 questions, and based on how you answer it, and a ridiculous question being that it's the oatmeal is, would you be willing to bite off Justin Bieber's fingers, and what would you do with them if you had them in your mouth? So it's great because what you then do is that's the result. I could take 25 Justin Biebers in a fight, you versus Justin Bieber, a swarm of Justin Biebers, and you can place that on your website. You place it on your Facebook, you place it on, well, it used to be MySpace, but any kind of website, blogger.com or whatever. That has a link. That link in there is pointing back to the oatmeal. So the oatmeal gains a tremendous amount of backlink power from that. Everybody is a winner in winning awards. Awards are a lot of fun, and now we've kind of sloped into really powerful stuff, right? If you had a website, it doesn't matter what it is, but you decided that you were going to have an award system. You could, first of all, make it interactive by having votes, right? People come to your site, or if you nominate certain websites, then they can then promote your website again, and people are increasing the traffic, they're coming to your site. But the greatest thing is that these little widgets that you're going to give to the winners or the runners-up, they're going to put that on their website. And that's then going to have a backlink going to your website. And that's really powerful. Just have to figure out an award that people are interested in. Sponsorships. Sponsorships are great, right? Charitable donations, kids basketball, baseball, whatever it is, especially if you're a local website. If you're locally focused, then this is really fantastic. The one thing that you've got to ask is, hey, I'm making this donation. Can you get a link on your website talking about my website? And that link should go back to your website, obviously. Getting more and more powerful as we go through these. Alma mater. So congratulations, you graduated, you're unemployed, and you owe a lot of money. But the great thing about the alma mater is that it's a .edu. So hopefully your profile that they allowed you to set up when you were in school, depending upon the college that you went to, they'll keep it up for you, and you get to modify it throughout the ages. And if they have those profiles on their main website, then the power of that website is going to help when you link in your profile back to your website. Now, a lot of colleges now, they've separated them. So there could be a Baruch.edu, but then there's a BaruchAlumni.com, and all the profiles go over to the .com. That's just another link, great, fantastic. But a .edu is considered by Google one of the more powerful. When they rank the kinds of domains, you've got .gov, you've got .edu, .org, and then .com. So I'll take questions at the end if we can. Just got to run through this. Next, directories. So you can get 10 SEOs in a room and ask them how they feel about directories, and you'll probably wind up with a lot of fighting if there's not a lot of alcohol in the room. But you'll probably come out, 5-5 or 6-4 or something like that. Some people live by it, and some people absolutely bash it. I'm on the side that I don't think that it hurts, and I think that if you do it right, it will improve the amount of backlinks that you have going to you. Now, there's a caveat to that. The caveat is you need to look for directories that are above your page rank, where you are currently, and I'll get into page rank in a second, where you are currently, and you have to make sure that they are legitimate. So as a rule for myself personally, I never pay to get into a directory, even that big one. I don't even know what they are. They're always at the conventions. Saying, oh yeah, it costs such as Yahoo directories is even like $200, and I wouldn't do that. And if they're asking for a backlink. So if they're asking for a backlink, then you know that the reason why they're going to get you into the directory is for the backlink. So it's that kind of thing. You just have to really be careful. There are tens of thousands of directories out there from 20 years going back. You just need to know which ones to do. And it's a lot of research. Press releases. So press releases is something that I've just gotten into, and I'm kind of really hot for it now because it gets your name out there. If you can legitimately it's not, hey, I walked my dog today, right? It's, if you have a partnership, if you've got a new, whatever it might be, it has to kind of be newsworthy, relatively newsworthy. But you push it out there, and if you write the press release correctly, and you can go online, you can see exactly how to write a press release. You put your domain, and you can put, if you're talking about specifically, well, first of all, what you need to do is take the press release first and put it on your website. And then you index that through Webmaster Tools, and you make sure that Google understands that the press release originates there. And then you send it out. I've lost everybody. So what you need to do, let me say it again, is Webmaster Tools has something called Fetch by Googlebot, which alerts the Googlebot that you have a new page on your website. A lot of people skip over this step, right? And this comes through with problems when there's people that are stealing your content. But if you launch a page and immediately go into Webmaster Tools and you say to Google Fetch that this is the new URL for this new page, they will come in and they will index it immediately, okay, like that. Then you can go out and you can send your press release out. And that contains the link back to the press release on your website, and it contains any links that are out there for any partnerships or anything like that that you're doing. I will take it in the end. Okay. And now we are at the holy grail of backlinks. This is really the prime way to do the right work. It's guest posting. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of time. It's really difficult. You can't duplicate it. But it's a solid. If you do it the right way, it's going to be solid. And if you get in with the right websites, and they are powerful websites, more so than yours, it's going to help raise up your level of backlinks. So just a couple of things to remember, or if you don't know, let me go through that. They have to be original. So if you write an article, this is how we do it. We write 4 articles. We write a main article that goes on our website. We then have 3 other articles that then point to that article on our website. Those 3 articles are offered to companies, websites, and any bloggers who are interested in pushing that content. There's a little bit of a time delay, okay? So this has been indexed and it's been sitting there. And now these 3 articles are now pointing through, a lot of people kind of say, and I'm giving a lot of stuff away right now, but a lot of people say, hey, do all 4, put yours up there, and then throw out these 3. What I found is that Google actually wants to see a natural growth progression of backlinks. So when you have those 3 articles and you're sending them out, let's say, over a 3-month period, it's growing and naturally smacking that page again, that original core page. All 3 articles are completely different. Once you give article B, article A stays on the site, article B is given to, you know, Australian Times. They're not going to take it, but somebody like that. They put it on their website. You can't use that article again. It's done. And they've got to be all completely different. One could be a how-to, one could be a DIY, one could be a safety article, anything like that. They've got to be completely different, but under the same kind of niche conversation that you're having on the main article. 2 things. Never spin your articles. And what spinning is it's you put in your original article, and you'll find this all the time out there, and you gotta be careful if somebody's writing your content for you. You need to use plagiarism software before you send it out to anybody or before you put it up on your website. You need to make sure that they haven't just scraped somebody else's site, spun it, which is just regurgitated articles, sentences moved in different places. It looks good. It kind of reads well, but it's a little weird. If it seems a little weird, you know? The other thing is, obviously, you want somebody who's of that nationality, you know, or is able to kind of speak fluently, like write fluently. That didn't come out right. Let me say that again. You want somebody who has native ability within that language. Okay, and then 2, never place your articles in an article farm, right? Google has absolutely basically shut down ezinearticles.com. I don't want to actually name any, I shouldn't have named any specific one, but any kind of farm article regurgitating thing out there, right? Does that make sense? Because
like about?
No. About's a little different because I think that they're writing their own articles.
Easy.
Yeah, the easing articles is a great example. Yeah. Okay. So, how do we find sites to guest post on? There's a couple of different ways to do this. One of the best ways is to go to Google and do a search that basically says guest writers wanted or guest bloggers wanted. And now you define that by your niche. So you're going to go in, you're going to say criminal law guest bloggers wanted. And that's going to come up with anybody who on their website has actually said, I'm looking for bloggers. Makes sense, right? You can also, of course, look for top 10 blogs or top 10 blog, you know, facilities or whatever it might be. And that will come back. That you always have to contact these people, right? They might have taken in the past articles and now they're not taking them. Their site might be completely shut down, whatever it might be. They might be on vacation. It could take months in conversation. But if the site is of value, if it's a high domain rank, then you want to build that relationship. One very, very high ranked, we could go back to that blue bubble, right? That blue bubble, the mommybloggers.com, pointing to the one red, that one relationship, one time, has boosted that whole domain authority. And of course, there are group guest, like, there's starting to be more of them, but I know My Blog Guest. I don't know if, does anybody know of that? No, so My Blog Guest is kind of like a resource where people put up their, put their articles in, and other people can look at the articles and say whether or not they want that. At the same time, people can put requests in. It's a good site. All this stuff costs money, obviously, so. Okay. As promised, as part of the presentation, we're going to look at backlinks. So I know that 2 people emailed. Are they in the room? They put something up on the site. Are those people not in the room? Okay. So here's the deal. 2 people emailed on the meetup.com, and they put their website up there, and then a list of competitors. Oh, okay. And are you Kevin?
I'm Kevin.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Hi, guys. Hi. This is what we're talking about now. Okay. So, Kevin, I've done the analysis, but are you okay with the fact that yours doesn't have any traffic? Like yours doesn't have any rank?
Yeah.
Okay, you're okay with that. And
robots on?
huh?
Does it have robots.txt in it? Robots.txt or just nothing?
No. I'll show you in a second.
Okay,
And then for yours, out of the 3 that you listed, only 1 actually has any type of ranking. Okay? So we'll take a look at that. Hometown Insurance, that's yours?
Yeah.
That's not you, but that's one of your competitors.
When I was entering keywords, these are the ones that came up as well as mine.
Okay, so what I would say to you is that yours and the other one don't have any type of domain authority. Okay? And this guy only has a 22 out of 100. So think of it like high school, right? So anything above a 70, actually in Google world, anything above a 50 is really good. At a 22, there's huge improvements that can be done for this site, and since it's not your site, I can bash them. So what we've got here is we look at the linking domains, and they're just really there's 12. There's 12 major linking domains. I mean, there's nothing. Like you could instantly improve on that. So now we're going to go over to Kevin. So Kevin, I had to excise yours from the data because there just wasn't anything there. And what we can see is your competitors. Now, this is really great stuff because this is essentially almost automatically predicting how Google is going to rank these websites for a keyword. So if the keyword was, I'm not sure what is this stuff?
Basement waterproofing.
Okay, so waterproof. Okay, so waterproofing. So these 4 companies are all in a competition. Nobody else is in the world. Okay, these 4 guys are trying to compete for the word waterproofing.
Basement waterproofing in Connecticut.
Well, let's just say waterproofing for easy sake, because it's an hypothetical. Who's going to win this? Who? Exactly. They're going to get top ranking. Okay. Who's going to get second ranking? Right. Who's going to get third? Right. And then fourth.
But it looks like you're doing the websites in this string there. Are you searching out the keyword, or are you just
No.
doing those?
No, we're talking about domains, because with this, it doesn't matter what keyword it is. In a fight between these 4 guys, whatever that guy chooses, if all 4 are going for the same keyword, that 45 is winning. He's going to win.
That's interesting.
Hands down.
Yeah, because if you have like a keyword that it could be any keyword, but what if it's a keyword that none of them have? I guess this just goes on markup and H1s and H2s.
No, this goes on backlinks. This is just backlinks. So if we look at it, you can ignore the domain MozRank and MozTrust because that's proprietary to SEO Moz. But when you look at the external followed links,
This is just for links.
just backlinks, exactly. Right, so we're not talking about speed. We could do an analysis of speed, right? But this is pretty heavy, right? The 45, between the 45 and the 17, 17's never going to get a top ranking above that 45 guy. So that's what we're saying. We're not saying what keywords, it's not what keywords we're trying to get. It's if everybody was competing for the same keywords, these 4 guys competing for exactly the same 100 keywords, 45 is always going to win. Does that make sense? Yes. Good. Questions in 2 seconds because we're almost done. Okay. So this is a really awesome tool. I am not with SEO Moz. I am a fan of SEO Moz, and I've been using them since they started. And I can't say since they started. They know exactly the person who got with them the moment that they started, but I've been with them for a really long time. There is something a little hackerish that I'm going to show you, because I have to. That's coming up. So what you can do is, with the big companies, ooh, resource unavailable. Okay, so we're just going to have to go like this. So Evil Spock, and he'll come up in a second, hopefully. So with the backlinks, if you're trying to get a whole bunch of clients, there are companies out there that all that they have focused on with their backlinks is, when they have a relationship with a client, is to get a backlink. And that's it. So you take a company like FindLaw. Do we all know what FindLaw is? So FindLaw is a big website company specifically focused on lawyers. And they have 30,000 backlinks. And 60% of those are just the list of their clients. So if you are looking for work and you want to know where to hit those lawyers, that's your list. So that's Spock. I've done that one already. Self-promotion, I'll be speaking at SMX East. Anybody going to that? Not yet. Well, there is your 15% off coupon. That happens October 2nd and 4th. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And I've got a... What's that?
What is it?
Search Marketing Expo. Yeah. That's where you'll meet Matt Cutts, definitely. And I've got a Indiegogo campaign running right now, trying to produce my book. And that's that. So, questions?
Will you share these slides with us?
Yeah. The slides will be up on this website, and yeah.
I do have a real question.
Yes. What's the question?
Can you recommend some directories? You said that we should research and research. Are there some directories you feel are legitimate that we should?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, there are a ton of directories that are legitimate, but there are thousands of directories. Well, but you see, okay, so doing one or two isn't really going to be impactful, right? Yeah, I mean, I could.
Search your own market.
Yeah, I mean, just, what I would say is get a list of directories and then see how the page ranks and make sure that it's indexed in Google. Yeah.
SEO Moz?
Yeah, SEO Moz actually has their own list. So they do have a list of directories.
Do you pay for the professional level?
I personally do. So I don't know if it's an article or whether it's what site it's on, whether it's on the professional.
I think the list of directories is probably free.
Is it free? I think so. Yeah. It's probably free. You could just go in there and see list of directories. Yes, in the back.
When you were explaining the example of the guy who had 45 and how he was going to always win.
Yeah.
With the keyword, that reminded me. Do you remember the old ladders? Like if you were playing spades.
Chutes and ladders.
No, like the card game spades, and
Oh.
you needed someone who was higher than you needed to agree to play with you.
Yeah.
Before you could move up.
Okay, but okay.
Is that a similar thing? I'm just trying to understand.
Is this the quality of links you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, I mean, in other words, yeah. So exactly. So if you have your choice, and backlinking takes a really long time. So what I would say to you is, if you're scoring a 45, then you want to go from and everything is kind of by the power of, right? So to get from 22, where he's at, or where that company is at, to get to 30 is exponentially harder, and to get to 45 to 46 is exponentially harder. So if you're scoring in the 45s, then don't bother with the 20s. Don't bother with a backlink where they're scoring a 20, because it's just not going to do anything for you. Yeah, unless you do like thousands of them, in which case, yeah.
You have to get someone higher than yourself, basically.
Preferably, yeah, definitely.
Do they grow stale? Like, for instance, if I was linked to the New York Times 2 years ago, would it matter?
Yeah, sure, absolutely, that would be great.
Okay, but if it was like 5 years ago, would it matter? Is that time?
If they have a link, then, and that link is going to a live page on your site, then that's always in there in Google's index of listing of the fact that you have that relationship. Yeah.
So do you have, if you're a web designer, you have your link on all of your client side in the footer, for example?
Yes.
Would that still rank?
So footers are slightly different. So because of all the abuse that has occurred with footers, Google looks at them differently. It doesn't mean that it doesn't count as a backlink, but it's, you know, if you have 10,000 clients like FindLaw, right, and they have a link there. Now FindLaw got in trouble recently, so they're getting smacked down. Obviously with the Penguin, a lot of stuff changed. So there are these kind of things that are being figured out now, but so a footer isn't going to weigh as much as if it was in an article. When it's in an article, then that's fantastic. Yeah, I was talking in terms of finding clients from FindLaw. It's definitely, there's a backlink in there. Yeah. Yes.
Is there a barometer of how many good backlinks you need to get like that 45 guy?
Well,
I mean, is it 20? Is it 1,000?
well, you see, their total links is 20,000, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't know what that, if that was a dot or I can't see it.
Well, it's right. So when we look down this, ignoring the Moz Rank and Moz Trust, which is just their own proprietary stuff. So we look at external followed links. So that's the number. That's the number going out, right? Total external links. Am I getting that right? Total external links, followed links. Okay, no, external right. External followed links is coming in. Total external links. So the difference being between the followed and the unfollowed, right? The no follow. Do we know what no follow is? No. Okay, so I can link out to CNN, but I don't want that to help CNN grow. So in my HTML, in that link, I would write no follow.
I mean, why is that a good thing to do?
Because you don't, let's say that I was writing about my competitor, right? I was writing an article that included a link to my competitor. Or perfect is forums, right? Discus is going to talk about comments. So in comments, Google is very aware that there's a lot of comment spam. So what a lot of websites decide to do is they add no follows to any time that there's a comment with a link. That's probably the best example that I could give.
And what happens to that no follow?
It doesn't help. It counts in the. It counts in the.
So you're saying, oh well, you can do what you want, but it's not going to help.
It counts in the total external links, but it doesn't. Right. But it.
You can see those
The followed links is much more important. Right. Right.
Can I ask, why does the guy who's 33
Yeah.
has 42,000 backlinks,
Total links.
total links, as opposed to 45 who has 20,000 backlinks, total links?
Right.
What's the value of the links?
So here's an interesting thing. So sometimes you can really catch somebody doing something inappropriate. Through a couple of things, right, it does seem really odd that their total external links, now their total internal links could be, 41,000. That's totally possible, although it would show up somewhere else. It's a little skewed.
Can I ask a question? On the bottom of the pie chart, it shows a sliver for the external links.
Yeah.
Most of the pie is internal.
Yeah.
And for the one that's the 45, almost a third of it is external.
That would prove my theory.
Yep.
That's exactly right. It's a little hot up here. Yes.
Do social media links count towards any of this? Like if someone's sharing your content?
If it's
Over Twitter?
if it's as long as it's if we shorten the link, does it count as a link? I don't think so, because it's not yeah, I don't
Index, but I don't think they count in terms of backlink.
yeah, because it's yeah, I'm gonna say no, but I'm not 100%.
If it's not a shorter link?
Well, because Twitter isn't absorbed by Google the same way that a page is, because it's going to get indexed and then it's just going to get flushed, right? Because it's not, it's a time index thing, so it's not always going to be there, that kind of thing.
What about Facebook?
Well, it's right, Google can search inside.
It depends on somebody's
I
preferences.
don't know. I'm not the social guy.
Whether you allow
In the back.
stuff or not.
LinkedIn links will, like if you're posting in a group in LinkedIn, and it's an open group, those aren't counted.
Okay. Cool.
Do vanity links get better ratings?
Like, you mean with a short link that's vanity?
You can get your own, like, a shortened link that would have your name on it.
Right.
So, mywebsite.com and then the list.
Again, that's the social side.
I think it matters more where the link appears, not so much the link
Yeah.
itself.
Don't forget, it's the power of the page that it's coming from. So if it's on CNN, Twitter really isn't. Twitter and Facebook, these things are moving so quickly that it's not like longevity isn't really there for it. That's my best guess answer.
So I'm trying to get a good understanding of these numbers on the top and then the 40. So if somebody's doing a search for Connecticut highways and they end up on the first one, Connecticut basement.
Right.
I mean that doesn't. They're gonna that's not what I'm looking for, and they
Most likely.
through on it.
Right.
Whereas if they're looking for basement, they're looking for budget rent-a-cars, then they hit the second one. Well, that's not what we want either.
Right.
So we're talking about in the 45 that the comparison of the three is that we're looking for dry basements in Connecticut. And so when the three together are
Well, no, that 45 never changes.
No, but when we're using that search term, that's when the 45 matters.
The 45 only really matters when it's so if it's enterprise rent-a-car, or if it's budget rent-a-car,
We have budget dry.
right, budget dry, and they somehow wound up on the same page, then it would be comparative between budgetrental.com and this. They've got a 45. The question is what budget rental has. But I would doubt that they would wind up on budget rental on the first page. I would guarantee it's not going to happen. Yeah. One more question.
What is linking the sequence?
I'm not going to answer that because that's complicated, and I don't even have the right answer for it. It's
Google it.
Yes, Google it.
One more question we have to answer.
Okay, one more question that I have an answer. That could be quite a while.
How much of this is an art and how much is a science?
How much of it is an art and how much of it is a science? I'm going to go with 60-40. Science 60, 40 art. Touchdown?
Okay, we have.
Thank you.